Siri stepped from the carriage. Immediately, dozens of servants in blue and silver swarmed around her, pulling her away. Siri turned, alarmed, looking back toward her soldiers. The men stepped forward, but Trelides held up his hand. "The vessel will go alone," the priest declared. Siri felt a stab of fear. This was the time. "Return to Idris," she said to the men.
"But, my lady," the lead soldier said.
"No," Siri said. "You can do nothing more for me here. Please, return and tell my father that I arrived safely." The lead soldier glanced back at his men, uncertain. Siri didn't get to see if they obeyed or not, for the servants shuffled her around a corner into a long black hallway. Siri tried not to show her fear. She'd come to the palace to be wed, and was determined to make a favorable impression on the God King. But she really was just terrified. Why hadn't she run? Why hadn't she wiggled out of this somehow? Why couldn't they have all just let her be? There was no escape now. As the serving women led her down a corridor into the deep black palace, the last remnants of her former life disappeared behind her. She was now alone. Lamps with colored glass lined the walls. Siri was led through several twists and turns in the dark passages. She tried to remember her way back, but was soon hopelessly lost. The servants surrounded her like an honor guard. Though all were female, they were of different ages. Each wore a blue cap, hair loose out the back, and they kept their eyes downcast. Their shimmering blue clothing was loose-fitting, even through the bust. Siri blushed at the low-cut fronts. In Idris, women kept even their necks covered. The black corridor eventually opened into a much larger room. Siri hesitated in the doorway. While the stone walls of this room were black, they had been draped in silks of a deep maroon. In fact, everything in the room was maroon, from the carpeting to the furniture to the tubs, surrounded by tile, in the center of the room. The servants began to pick at her clothing, undressing her. Siri jumped, swatting at a few hands, causing them to pause in surprise. Then they attacked with renewed vigor, and Siri realized that she didn't have a choice except to grit her teeth and bear the treatment. She raised her arms, letting the servants pull off her dress and underclothing, and felt her hair grow red as she blushed. At least the room was warm. She shivered anyway. She was forced to stand, naked, as other servants approached, bearing measuring tapes. They poked and prodded, getting various measurements, including ones around Siri's waist, bust, shoulders, and hips. When that was finished, the women backed away, and the room fell still. The bath continued to steam in the center of the chamber. Several of the serving women gestured toward it. "Guess I'm allowed to wash myself," Siri thought with relief, walking up the tile steps. She stepped carefully into the massive tub and was pleased at how warm the water was. She lowered herself into the water, letting herself relax just a fraction. Soft splashes sounded behind her, and she spun. Several other serving women, these wearing brown, were climbing into the tub, fully clothed, holding washcloths and soap. Siri sighed, yielding herself to their care as they began to scrub vigorously at her body and hair. She closed her eyes, enduring the treatment with as much dignity as she could manage. That left her time to think, which wasn't good. It only allowed her to consider just what was happening to her. Her anxiety immediately returned. The lifeless weren't as bad as the stories, she thought, trying to reassure herself, and the city colors are far more pleasant than I expected. Maybe the God King isn't as terrible as everyone says. "Ah, good," a voice said. "We're right on schedule. Perfect." Siri froze. That was a man's voice. She snapped her eyes open to find an older man in brown robes standing beside the tub, writing something on a ledger. He was